Hey drummers, hope you're doing well. Shout out to superstar channel member Ray, who was asking about this today. This is 4 on the floor. I've made a couple of videos about this in the past, and on the face of it, this is a video for beginners, people getting started on the drums. It's always worth recapping these things because I think a lot of these phrases, like 4 on the floor is a good example, get thrown around and quite often sort of misused, or quite often they're used to mean something else, and it all gets a bit muddled up often when you're first starting off on the drums. So 4 on the floor, as far as I'm concerned, means a bass drum, which is sitting on the floor. I get why it's confusing, right? Because we talk about a floor tom. But the bass drum, which is sitting on the floor, plays 4 beats in the bar. What it doesn't tell you is it doesn't tell you what else is happening. So it's not the same thing as 4/4. I made a video last year or a couple of years ago, like what's like 4/4 and 4 on the floor, like compare and contrast between those. It's not the same thing. But here we're talking about 4 on the floor. So whenever your bass drum is going like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, which will almost always be in 4/4, but that's a whole other story. You've got 4 on the floor. I'm going to present 3 classic basic grooves for beginners that feature 4 on the floor. The first one is quarter notes on the hi-hat. All of these grooves, by the way, feature a backbeat on the snare drum. There's another word that gets thrown around. A backbeat is a big hit on a snare drum, or in fact, it doesn't have to be a snare drum, just something a bit like a snare drum, or acting like a snare drum would, typically in a groove, on beats 2 and beats 4. That's what a backbeat is. So if you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, you got yourself a backbeat. All of these grooves have a backbeat. First of all, we're going to play a quarter note feel. I tend to name these grooves after what's happening on the hi-hat, or maybe the ride cymbal. We'll play hi-hat today, and this is a quarter note feel. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's your first groove. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm playing bass drum and hi-hat, bass drum, snare drum and hi-hat, repeated. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think quite often when people start the drums, they just go straight to an 8th note feel, and that's cool, but the quarter note feel is really good because it gives you that space in a groove, and especially when you're a beginner, intermediate drummer, or any drummer really at any point, and you're wanting to go faster and play a song, sometimes it could be a great way of doing that. As the tempo picks up, as opposed to 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is a different feel, but it can be really good as the tempo picks up. A quarter note feel, it also just gives you a ton of space in the groove. So that's number 1. The quarter note feel, and remember 4 on the floor is the big theme here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're going to be hitting the bass drum or the kick drum every time you hit the snare drum, as well as 1 and 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Groove number 2 will be an 8th note feel, or a straight 8ths feel here on the hi-hat. So here, quavers or 8th notes on your hi-hat. Again, the big theme is the bass drum. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the bass drum goes on all 4 beats of the bar, crucially, including the ones where you hit the snare, right? 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Did a video yesterday which was just a little playthrough of Bad Habits by Ed Sheeran from Rock School Grade 1, the version from there, and somebody commented, "Can you show us the groove?" There you go, that's it. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And last but not least, a 16th note feel. Here we're going to play a 16th note feel with 2 sticks on the hi-hat. And here we're also going to play 4 on the floor. We're also going to hit a backbeat on the snare drum. Interestingly though, for the 2-handed 16th note feel, the backbeat is played both with your right stick, or your lead stick, so to speak, coming across to hit the snare drum. So, again, don't miss it out. 4 on the floor, that's the whole point of this video. So to recap, groove 1, quarter notes on the hi-hat. 4, groove 2, eighth notes on the hi-hat. Groove 3, 16th notes. If you are truly a beginner, especially number 3, you'll need to go slow at first, just work it through, go that lovely slow, giving your brain and your hands and your feet a chance to see every note at speed and work it up from there. Why would you do this? Why would you play a 4 on the floor? Well, it has a very particular feel. If you take a straight 8th feel, if we just do it with kick on 1 and 3, that's great. 1, 3, 1, 3. You might say that has a pop rock type of feel. It really all depends what the rest of the music is doing, but it has a certain feel. And then the 4 on the floor has a different feel again, doesn't it? More, what could you say? More pulsing, more driving, sometimes more dancey. There's plenty of rock music that has 4 on the floor as well. I've heard some musicians, sometimes guitarists, I've heard say, "Oh, I don't like 4 on the floor because the noise of the sound coming from the bass drum like overshadows the tone of the snare drum." I totally dig that. There are musical situations where that would be true and it wouldn't be the best choice, I would say. And then there are plenty of times when 4 on the floor is a great choice. My experience is generally, depends on the gig that you're doing and the music that you're making, generally audiences love it, and generally other musicians in the band that you're with will love it as well. But there are exceptions. So as ever, we have to be musicians about it. We have to use our musical judgment. So there's 3 grooves for you: quarter notes on the hi-hat, eighth notes on the hi-hat, 16ths on the hi-hat. As ever, channel members of this channel, you'll get an email just now, and I'll post on the channel members page a full notation and practice along for each of these grooves. You can slow down as much as you like. I'll write in the rights and lefts and the counts in the case of the quarter notes and eighths, and you can just sit with it, roll them around, get a feel for it if you're just getting started on the drums. 4 on the floor. I'll link to my video about the difference between 4 on the floor and 4/4 below. Thanks for watching as always. Shout out to Ray. See you soon.